I'm Phyllis from the Doll Corner, and welcome to my channel. And today, I want to show you how I set in a sleeve. I have done a video a while back on how to put a gathered sleeve in. Now this sleeve is a fitted sleeve. I call it a fitted. There's no gathers, and they're a little trickier, but it's easy to do. So first of all, I find out what size of a doll I'm going to make. And you can use the same method for an adult sleeve or a child's sleeve as well. So it's very versatile. First of all, I trace out my pattern from my book. Get the size of the length of the doll, and that's usually where I start. But then the width of the doll is very different. So I trace this pattern out, the front and the back and the sleeve and the collar. Now this sleeve pattern, doll's arm is not very long, so I had to shorten it. Now if you want to put a placket in it, you can make a placket there. I usually don't make one. They're a little fiddly, and I don't think you really need it. Unless your doll has a really big hand, then you might want it. And you can tighten, well, I'll show you how to tighten it up later. So when I get this from my basic doll pattern, it's on the Etsy shop, and I'll put a link below. I have my pieces and I cut them out, and we're going to basically be talking about the sleeve today. So I cut my sleeve out, and I cut my other pieces out, and then I take I have my shirt joined at the shoulder, and I put my collar on because it's easier, I think, to put the collar on when you don't have the sleeves. And then this is where my sleeve fits. And if you take this and see, I have a little center mark there, put that right there. And you see, if you want this to shape around here, that's what you want. And I put a cuff on it, or however I'm finishing the bottom. This one I put a little cuff. I do it this way. I fold this edge in, leave this one out, and sew it here, and then fold it over, and then put a top stitching on the cuff, or you don't have to. But you really should sew in the ditch here to hold. You have to sew in the ditch, or hand stitch it, whichever you prefer. And then this is where we're interested in today. I put an ease stitch along here, and just pull my thread enough to sort of, you can see, just sort of, it sort of fits over your fingers like that. And then that, and you don't want any gathers on this line of stitching. It'll be a little puffier out here, or gathery looking here, but on this row of stitches, there shouldn't be any gathers. So then I take my playing around with this. So you take your little V, your center mark, and you put right sides together at the shoulder seam, and you put like that. And then I take my second pin and I put it at the edge where the underarm goes, and the same with this side. Now if I was sewing this, I would probably just take and work away with it as I sew. But if you're a new sewer, you might want to put in one more pin right there to hold that in place, or you could put two in, depending on how you like to work with pins. And another one over. I do put one on this corner, and then I put another one in the center. Now if it's a knit material, they go in easier most times, but with a woven, they're a little trickier. But you want to make sure you don't have any wrinkles on this side, or, well, I don't have that very good. There. And then you just undo your machine and just stitch it all along there, taking your pins out as you go. And when you get it sewn in, that's the same. You want to check it to make sure you have no puckers or. Now I have a little bit of my ease thread there. I will pull that out. And then press it. Press it towards the sleeve. Now if you have a material that frays, you might want to do a zigzag on that, or a serge, or pinking shears, I guess. I got one pair years ago and they never worked for me, so I never replaced them. I think they're still around here and I should throw them out because they never worked. And then when I've got this together like this and pressed, I take and I bring my underarm seam, put a pin in it there, put a pin right there, and one here. And then I stitch down that side. And then when I've got it all finished off like that, I take, instead of the placket, I will take and just make a little tuck or a pleat and put a button on that. But you have to make sure your doll's hand can fit over this. So that's an easy way of making. It just takes a little practice and it works well. It just takes, but I find if you can get your sleeve cup like that, it works really great. And this is one that I made a long time ago, shirt. And I think my problem with my doll was it had a bigger neck. So I didn't put a button up here. I should have had a little button up here. And maybe more down. But I think I was wearing this with overalls or something, so I didn't. But I put the hook and loop tape there. And I just serged along the bottom. Sometimes serging along the bottom makes it a smoother fit. So be sure and subscribe. Touch the bell to be notified. Check out my Etsy shop and my Instagram page. And if you have any questions, you can email me, and my email will be below. And thanks for watching. Bye now.